one night back in late 1970s, Sergeant Gene Smith and Detective Dave Gruber were out cruising around. They were in the Las Vegas Metro Police Intelligence Unit. So they came over to check on the upper crust in the Our Place Lounge, and it's right straight ahead there where you see the sign that says Dive Bar. They're probably sitting in about this area, this one of these kind of typical suburban strip malls. I see a dispensary down there, a liquor store, a nail place, a cricket store, a pharmacy. So those guys used to sit out on that the table out in front of the pizza place, the upper crust, and hang around. You've seen the famous picture of them. It's probably Smith and Gruber took that picture, more than likely. Of course, the Bureau might have. So one night they were sitting here and they see this Lincoln Continental, I think it was a 1979 Lincoln Continental pull up with Illinois tags on it, and they thought, well, what the heck, who is this dude? And they see him talking to Spilotro, they see him go in, they see him come out with something, talking to Spilotro and some of the other guys in the hole-in-the-wall gang sitting around their table out front. So they think, we got to find out who this guy is. They don't recognize him. He's a new guy in town. They don't have the car. They haven't spotted the car before. And that always raises a red flag when you see an out-of-state tag that seems to know your local mob people and know them well, especially one from Illinois out here. By then, they knew of the Chicago connection. They knew who Tony Spilotro was. So they decided they better go stop him. So he's going to go out, and he's going to go out back over here to Maryland Parkway down to Flamingo, which is just a little ways. You can see the cross traffic down there. That's Flamingo. And he's going to take a right, and they're going to pull out behind him and pick him up when he goes down Flamingo. But he's going to notice that somebody is following him going down Flamingo. So now let's go to where the next act happened in this little mini drama. Okay, guys, we're going down Flamingo. Maybe about here they'd be picking up speed because they're just a few blocks away. This is Eastern. No, this is Spencer. But it's that 3 or 4 blocks up there that he would have been picking up speed as late at night or as in the evening. Back then there wouldn't have been this much traffic, of course. This is light here, but they would have been picking up speed. I've been there on these deals, and you're trying to lay back because you want to see where they go. You don't know who they are, and it'd be nice to see where they go, but yet you want to find out, maybe get them stopped. What I'm trying to do at this point in time would be call a district car to stop them, and then have the district car check them out, and then come back. But our boys, Gruber and Smith, they were not into calling a district car. They were going to do it themselves, and they must have probably had maybe a police-looking car. They certainly had one of those, I think, a Kojak light that they could slap up on top. Probably didn't have any lights in the grill. I don't know exactly you never knew what intelligence guys would drive back in those days. We had both. We had detective-looking cars and we had slick cars. And then later on, by the 80s, they got a lot more professional, and they got slick cars that did not have any markings. They were actually used rental cars is what they were. It looked like a salesman would drive. We got these after we worked with the Bureau so much, running checking on the wiretaps and the hidden microphones and all that, and finding out who was going in and out of buildings where they had a hidden microphone, for example. You can't turn the microphone on until you see who goes in the building, but we got really slick cars by then because we did not want to be burnt. I've been there where you don't know what to do. You're trying to get a district car to come and stop them, and you can't get them there in time, and they don't understand what's going on. And as you get in closer, you got to do something. And many times they usually just got away, and you had to go and try them another day. It's not the end of the world if they get away. But Gruber and Smith, they were not going to let this guy go. And probably by here, this is Eastern, they had put on their red light, and because we're just coming on McLeod. He's going to take a left up here on McLeod. Okay, we're just taking a left on McLeod. Imagine about here, it was getting pretty hairy. They were flying around this corner, and that's a hell of a bump too. I can only imagine. So I'm gonna go down here to something. I think it's called Aggresso. It's Sun Villas. So I'm gonna have to put this down and see if I can find this. they were at a high rate of speed going down here because there's nobody else on. And I bet this guy is shitting his pants right now because he thinks that somebody's going to rob him, I believe. And that's the only thing that makes sense to me, that he didn't realize were the cops and that he figured they were going to rob him. And then in Chicago, many times the cops will, the guys, the mob guys will act like they're cops. Sometimes they would be cops. They have a real cop in there with a red light and a badge and the whole 9 yards. So, he's from Chicago. Tony Splatro told him once, later on I heard that, you need to get rid of those plates. Get those Illinois plates off that car. You need to be a little lower profile. This kid, his name is Frankie Bluestein. Call him Frankie Blue. He was working at the Hacienda as a maitre d'. I think we're coming up on it right here. His dad was kind of a big shot in the Culinary Workers Union. And they were all mobbed up. Oh yeah, here it is, Sunrise Village. Yeah, in Gresso, here it is, right here. So they pulled in here, and they went right past this guard shack up into here. Now it wasn't manned. This isn't manned, but it's got the gate up. So it was right up here that he pulls over. If you remember the famous scene in the movie Casino, he pulls over and he steps out with his sandwich in his hand. This is what the movie depicted, and they shot him down. Now, after they did shoot him down, but they will find a gun that they'll eventually trace back to a relative of his back in Chicago. So there was a gun there. He had a gun with him. Go figure. I figure it was a good shoot. The prosecuting attorney said it was a good shoot. Anytime you shoot somebody and there's a gun there when it's over, depends on the telling of the story, doesn't it? But I got a feeling that he did come out with that gun because I'm sure that he was convinced he was going to be robbed. So it's probably right up where they shot him down. Was probably maybe there was a gate there then, because it said it was just past the guard shack, so it's probably right here where they shot him down. Interesting. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.